Okay. Good morning. We are in Samach Tes Sif Beis Hilchos Melicha. Beis Imalach Lo Hidiach Tchila Yedichenu Yedichenu Shenis Yeshoitzrim. If you salted but you didn't do hadacha, so the mechaber, the first sheet of the mechaber, Rosh or whatever says, okay, no problem. Then do hadacha and then do melicha again. The reason for this is the shiloh over here is that, like I said in Sif Aleph, that the reason you do hadacha is because of dam be'en on the chshash of dam be'en on the outside of the piece of meat. Now, so therefore, the question is that when you did melicha and you didn't do that, was that mavliya the dam into the piece? Now the first sheet of the mechaber says that yedichenu, okay, it's okay because melicha is going to take care of it anyway. It's only chashash dam, and if you do melicha again, then it's whatever was absorbed will come out. So therefore, first wash off the melech which is there, because because if you put more melech on, it's just gonna interact with the salt which is there already, and it's not gonna work. So therefore, wash it off, and then do melicha again, and then it's gonna go ahead and pull out whatever blood is in there. Yesh oisrim, and the machmirim say that the dam, it's not just a chashash dam on the surface of we do hadacha because of a chashash dam or whatever. It really is dam be'en, and therefore really it's a real suffix deraisa, and it's not just ula whatever, and therefore it's mavliya this dam be'en. If it's and we have a din that once we have a din by melicha that once dam is muvla alpi melicha, then it's not going to come out again. It's not going to come out again with melicha. And there are those that say even for tzli is a problem, which is a chiddush. Usually tzli takes out everything, but we'll see as we go along. The R thing tzli doesn't take out. The Ramah says that's how we know it. That's the meaning. That's how we paskin. We aser it. I feel lo nimlach rach ma'at. Even if he put a little bit of salt on, not like he put it like a drop of salt over here or whatever, but he didn't do a real melicha. He put the tzli means there's the tzli, and then there's for melicha take out the dam. The tzli is a lighter salting. You put a little bit of salt on. Even if you just put it on and you didn't let it sit, sheer melicha. Now, I guess if you put it on and wash it off right away, I don't think it's a big deal. But it has to actually start dissolving and working, even if it's not sheer melicha 18 minutes. But it has to start being poiled. And the Rechoshish, since it's into the dam be'en, so it's already mavliya. Miyo v'malcham hefsed meruba yesh lahatir. Oh, hefsed meruba that you became by the molchim l'tzli. So then, since it wasn't a real stark melicha, so therefore you can go ahead and you can wash it again and then maleach it. Obviously, also if it's already if it has to be ruba, you could do tzli on this as well. But let's say you didn't do a full soaking before the full shear. Let's say you washed it under the sink. You washed it under the sink. Mutter b'di'evid. So that's mutter b'di'evid. A question is what's b'di'evid. Was he B'diavad means he was mavashalit, or it just means or that he just, you know, he didn't. He already he did that, salted it. The hadacha to go back to the process is b'diavad. Some say it's only if he already cooked with it. It's again, you're talking about sfeikos deraisa, lahachmir, but achopanim, it's okay b'diavad. V'adinim haya shishim b'chaticha neged dam she'alav. So too, if there were shishim in this piece, negative dam, which would be on the outside, that would be okay. Which we don't know the shear for that, and it's hard to mishar the shear. Generally, the place can say that usually there isn't shishim neged the whole outer surface of the piece of meat. Maybe if you're talking about the side of beef, I don't know. I'm not sure. But if a person would be able to scan it and figure out the outside area and differentials and I don't know, whatever, and then, okay, fine. But achupanim, generally it's not. If the chaticha was nimlach without hadachim shar chatichos, let's say one you didn't do hadacha, one chicken you didn't do hadacha. There was a mistake. You had a whole factory and there was a mistake, and it went right in. Shar chatichos v'tarois v'hi asura. The other chatichos are going to be mutter. The other chickens will be mutter, but that chicken will be asur. The reason is that by melicha there's a special din of that when you have two pieces of meat. And the salty tzir goes into the other piece of meat, it goes right through. It doesn't stay. If it's being poil and being polate, and the other pieces, you salted the other pieces, and they're being polate. So the Gemara says that if it's tarach, if it's been tarach, it's tareach and plita, it's not going to be bolea. It doesn't have. It's not basically the dal, whatever it is not going to stay in the piece of meat. It's being whatever juices are in it. It's already pouring it out, and therefore it doesn't. It's not mavliu. It can't be mavliu mafli b'vasachas. It can't multitask. Put it that way. So therefore, even though you salted. Chicken, salted one chicken, you didn't do hadacha with the other chickens, so then, leaflight, right, that's the lashon, then therefore they won't absorb the other dam, especially because the question here is dam. Other Yisurim we'll have to get to in Tarevis, if you salt other Yisurim, is that didn't apply, but this din by dam is that it's not going to absorb other dam into it. So therefore, the dam of that piece, it won't go into the other. Even if it goes into the other pieces, it's just going to come out. But this chaticha is also because it's achopanim lechachila, because of the fact that it's going to go straight in. We're that's on the surface. It's not just like dam going through or whatever. On the surface, it's going to be nivla on the outside of the chicken, and it's going to be that reliach hiroseach. It's kilu very hot in that part kilu, and it's mavliya the dam in the surface of that, and once it's muvla, it's not going to come out. So therefore, it's also and if there's a tarevis that, let's say a taka happened in a factory, so there's a tarevis. And it will be batal. We're talking about a case over here where it's not batal. Gimel. So now we're getting to the dinim of how do you actually do melicha. Gimel lo yimlach b'melach daka kekemach. The din is the poskim. That you can't, that you should not that we'll see, it's not usher, but but you should not use table salt. right? You take your Mortons, or here you have your regular, here in Israel you have your, shekel bag of salt. You can't go ahead and take that and use that. Nor can you take, you go to Yom Melech, and you go to the Dead Sea. You take a big, hunk of salt, a couple big, salt rocks. Um, and truth is, even south of the Dead Sea is something Har Stone, which is basically a big, like a mountain or whatever, made out of salt, salt. So you knock a piece off, a few big chunks, and you stick it on. That's not going to work either. Shenofelos me'ala basar elach ve'elach. You have a few big things. It's not going to stick to the meat, and it's going to fall off, whatever.
Like rock salt, even like we use salt in the south.
Yeah, yeah. Rock salt, right? Rock salt in the cold places, and whatever they use, bigger salt. Here they don't know much of. Never seen. Here they don't never really seen rock salt. They don't know, but it's large pieces. Aquapadin, it's gonna fall off the. I'm gonna fall off. Let's say you have nothing else. It's better. It's okay to go ahead and b'maleach with it, but you need to go ahead and put a lot, not just you can't just sprinkle it with salt. You have to mamish make like a layer, a layer of salt on it. And the question the priest can ask, is it better to go ahead and to let's say your choice is to have the big pieces, let's say the rock salt, whatever, or your choice is to have table salt. You don't have the good, what's called kosher salt, because the reason they started selling kosher salt because people, back in the days when they did malicha in the house, they needed to buy kosher salt to go ahead. It's called kosher salt for koshering. So therefore that's they kept the name. So Achopan.
Mix a chemical into flatten the
Oh yeah.
Russian salt.
So therefore, because it sticks, because the big ones aren't going to stick at all. So that's not going to do a proper melicha. The madach kemach will stick to the meat. You just have to just put a lot on. And how much, we'll see about how much salt, we have to put on. But like I said, you go to the factories, they have vats of salt to use to salt the chickens and meat and whatever. Dalid, ifazer lav melach, you spread around the melach. Shlo yishar bo makom ibli melach v'yimlach. You have to go ahead and spread the salt over, so there shouldn't be any place that doesn't have salt. Shelo yehei roi lechol im oso melach. It has to be enough salt that if you would go ahead and salt your, you would go ahead and salt your food, after, say for, barbecue, for, you cook it and you put so much salt that you can't eat it. There are people who really like a lot of salt, but bottle daiton, whatever. Generally, there's a certain point, it's just impossible to eat. So it has to be thick and enough salt like that, and then it's okay. The place can say if you didn't get to every single nook and cranny, it's mutter. It's mutter as long as the rest of them, not just you put in one little spot. But let's say you did the chicken and it didn't get under the wing over here. You didn't do the best job. It's b'diavad. It's okay because again the salt will pull it sear all over and will pull out from different parts, just like by the to discuss about what about the inside. If you do melicha on the outside, so how does it get to the inside? All right, it's not touching the inside. I say it has to get to everything. Oh, elamai, the elamai, because the salt, once the piece starts, the salt pulls out the dam, it's gonna pull out from the middle also. So it's gonna go through the whole piece, even if there's a spot that didn't have salt on it, it's gonna be okay. And the tzarich lahabras of melech esim means that you don't have to put on more salt than that. Like it says, lo yakibinyan. If let's say you did, it doesn't answer it. It's not going to make it answer. I know that in certain chickens here, in certain factories, I think they use. I think Reuben's chickens I always find to be extremely salty. He's very machmir on the malicha. How much he put? As far as I put it, he put a ton of salt. In the Reuben chickens, they put like a ton of salt.
Soaking chickens
Hmm.
Soaking chickens
Right. You can say right, but Uncle Pony, if you don't, like you could taste this chicken saltier than a different one. Truth is, there's different ways they do it in the factory. Um, I know that in Reuben they put a lot of salt. There's also that they use they have the question: do they have to use do they have to use they use some use machines, some use they use strong the higher strong strong Arabs I think to go ahead and take throw tons of salt on you know the, so they're sure that it gets on properly, and that's not just that isn't like just like it's not just sprinkled whatever the al it's even if it's that a lot of salt, it's not it's okay. You have to be sure you go ahead and you salt it from both sides of the meat. And the chickens have to be salted in the cavity as well. או מבחוץ, חתיכה של נימך אלא מצד אחד, הוא מותר. That it's considered like a, וכן חתיכה של נימך אלא מצד אחד, מותר. So, question is number one, so it says if you didn't go ahead and you only salted on the outside of the chicken or only on the inside, so then it's considered like one side or a piece of meat that only got one side salted. The Mechaber paskins it's mutter. What they do with the chickens, how they salt the inside. Here in Eretz Yisrael, they just they cut it open and they salt it on the inside. In Chutz La'aretz, they always get the whole chicken so you can stuff them and whatever. Very nice. So I heard that they take. He said I don't remember that they Ben David. He said they inject. They have a thing which they inject salt in the inside. Either they stuff it inside, like they fill the cavity with salt. They have a machine that shoots salt in, or whatever, or they can take their hand and stuff a whole bunch in. In that you don't need to break open the chicken to do it. It's just you have to just know what you're doing. So anyway, the Mechaber holds that if you molech only one side, so then it will be muter b'diavad because again it's gonna, just like we said before, it's gonna pull out from the whole thing. Agava yish oitzrim afilu b'diavad, but the Ramah holds. Now says that there are those who aser the later the Rishonim to a sedation asers afilu b'diavad hachinog. And this is the minig imlo l'tzarech, if it's whatever l'tzarech, have some meruba, covered Shabbos, covered orchim, right? So all these things, the person salting, if he invites orchim over, so he has all these like kulas and stuff, he can be samech on. The truth, I think covered orchim doesn't mean he invited them, the week before, and he knows they're coming. Covered orchim means, suddenly your relatives suddenly pop in for Shabbos. And you have to somehow, they need dinner, so you have to somehow get the meat salted quickly. So therefore, if you made a mistake, we say it's okay. Dafka im kvar nizbashel kach. That's only if it's already cooked. But in lo nizbashel dayin lo yivesh lanu achar kach. If it wasn't mevushel, so then there's nothing to do. Then you have to get imhu tochi beisho. So what can we do? So if it's within 12 hours, if it's 12 hours is the shear that we say that the meat is polate tzir, that the meat you salted is gonna, you don't have to obviously wait 12 hours, but that it takes 12 hours. If you left it, it takes 12 hours for it to stop being polate tzir. So if it's Tokyo Beishol, so therefore it's still being Polish, and Imlach Yachzor, V'yimlach Tzad Hasheni, then you can go ahead and you can Moleach the second side. Shlo Nimlach Hadayin, you're allowed to do that, and do a proper Malich on the second side, because the first side, once it stops being Polish, so therefore it dries up and there's nothing to do. Once it stops, then the dam which was Pirish, the dam inside the piece which started moving around from the second side, like started coming out a bit. It didn't come out properly. We say it gets nivla on the basar and there's nothing to do about it. So therefore, it's after Vimhu Achi Beishos Azay Yitzalenu. But the thing you can do is you can roast it. The newer Mashiv Shoiv, that we say that a flame takes out dam no matter what. It sucks. It takes out any dam stuck in there, anything like that. Melicha can't take out. If it started being pirish, if it started moving and stopped, then melicha is not going to help anymore. But if you but a fire will. But we don't say that the other side, the side which was salted, the other side which wasn't salted, we don't say, like we said before about hadacha, right? The surface is dam, and it's nivla, it's nivla into the outside of that you can't do anything about. So we don't say that. Well, that the dam from the top half, for the outside of the chicken or whatever. We don't say that it went into the other side and was mavliya in there. We just say because it's only a minute lahachmer. So therefore we say that side just it didn't it could be it didn't get a full salting, so it was like a bit of salt. So it started working but didn't work well. So then, but we don't say that the maligans, because it's not strong enough from the outside of the chicken to get into the inside and to go ahead and to make it so that it's nivla. That already we don't say. One more sif. After you salt the piece of meat, we don't say, like I said, the question is, how does it get to the inside of the piece of meat? It does. It pulls everything out, even for a huge, thick piece of meat. It will still go ahead and take out from the inside. So therefore, let's say after you salted it, you cut it up. You don't have to go ahead and say, okay, well now it's wait, it didn't get to the inside, so I got it. No, it pulled everything out from the whole piece. Not choshesh. However, if it was toich the malicha, you cut it. So then you need to go ahead and we say that, or before the malicha, whatever. Then you need to go ahead at that point and you need to do hadacha on that spot, because you say that now now you cause dam to ooze out from the sides, and you do hadacha over there and malicha on that part, because you caused dam before it's fully salted. It caused dam to come out. After it's after shir malicha, then the choshish at the middle didn't pull it down from the middle, and it's fine.
What's the shear of sleep?